Hi guys, and welcome to this episode of the Comedy Defect Podcast. My name's Winter Phonander, I'm a comedian, and this is my show. So welcome to the show, guys. Those of you that know the show, welcome back. Those of you that don't know, well, you're more than welcome. This is episode 57, and before I tell you a little bit more about that, I'm going to tell you what's been going on with me. I've been gigging a lot. I have been doing some interesting stuff. I've been trying some new bits out, and they've been going good. I've been really enjoying it. I've been loving it. I mean, I love comedy anyway, but you know, there's sometimes when you just feel that, it's just going great. You're just really enjoying it. You know, whatever. Just, it's for you, really, as well as them, but, you know, really it's for you, isn't it? I've been making time for friends, for family, just trying to get the balance right. I've been talking about trying to get the balance right in the course of the last few years, and I think now, at the moment, for this month, I think I have it kind of right. I'm kind of pleased, and everything just seems to be falling into place. I've also read a few books as well. I read one called Flow. It was recommended to me by a very funny man called Mark Jenkins. Some bits in that book I kind of related back to what I'm doing at the moment. Everything just seems to be flowing into place, but, you know, maybe it's psychosomatic, but whatever gets you through the day. What else been going on with me? I've been just doing some new stuff, and I've been writing some shows. I told you I did a narrative last year. I did a narrative called A Side Effect, and I am taking a show around the place at the moment. It was going to be called In Bits, but now it's called By the Power of Grayskull. It's a lot more fun, I feel. I think I'm going to enjoy that show a hell of a lot more. A bit more than I enjoyed last year's show, and there's some audiences that come to the show and you're like, oh man, they've got to follow this arc all the way through. And then you kind of go, well, you know, I want to be there for them as they are for me. You know, give them the best possible time. So this show, By the Power of Grayskull, is going to be kind of going around the country under a different name, because I'm just going to get some new stuff out there and we'll have fun with it. By the time it gets to the Fringe, it's going to be By the Power of Grayskull still. I'm really loving the poster. That poster was so much fun to make, and the show, it just seems to be falling into place. I'm not worried about this one. It's just the funniest show I can write, and, you know, as well as, you know, there's no massive story arc. It's just like, hey, look, this is me doing bits and enjoying it. But if you want to come see that, it's going to be around the place. It's going to be in Leicester on the 16th of February. I'm going to take it down to Brighton, and the dates will be on my website, which is winterphonander.com. I'm also hopefully going to be taking it to the Edinburgh Fringe as well, and maybe Hastings, but the dates will be on my website, which Danny Clives is hammering away at as we speak. He's nearly got it done. He's nearly got it finished. And I've also, what else have I been doing? I've been writing a sitcom. I've been getting the structure of a sitcom out, which is, I won't tell you any more about that at the moment, but I've been doing that with my wife, and we're having fun writing that together. It's kind of, I know it's sickening, isn't it? Enjoying each other's company and writing a sitcom together. But it's really fun. I'm loving doing that. I've got one more to write as well, but I'm just trying to get the structure, and I've got the episodes down. And we're going to just all I'm going to do is write the jokes for it, really. So not much, but there's plenty to do. So much fun. I'm enjoying it, you know. But that's what's been going on with me. I think that's enough, really. I think there's plenty. As well as just kind of touring the shit out of it, really. But yeah, that's me. I'm also on Twitter at Winter Phonander. This podcast is on Twitter under the title at The Comedy Defect. You can also see the jokes that I've raked out of the Guinness Encyclopedia, and they'll be up under the handle at Guinness Jokes. They're all there. I'm nearly at page 100. I've been busy, guys. I've been really busy. I haven't gotten past page 100 yet. But hey, we're doing well. We're doing well. And look, you know, I've got a lot to do. I just told you I'm doing loads. But this is a great episode. This is episode 57 with a very funny comedian. He got through to the semi-finals for So You Think You're Funny. He's from Townsville in northwestern Australia, and he's a really lovely guy. Edinburgh Fringe, we all shared a house, and myself, Gary Sampson, also Jez Watts, you heard on the podcast already. But very funny guy. Talked to him for a bit about his life and how he got started in comedy. I hope you enjoyed this one. This is episode 57 with a very funny Zack Dyer. So, Zack Dyer, welcome to the Comedy Defect, man. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, mate. What's the podcast called? The Comedy Defect.
The Comedy Defect, that's right. It's because I used to run a gig called the Comedy Effect. That was back when I first started, and I thought, effect? Defect? Because that's what they really were. They were comedy defect gigs. I thought, I'll use that name because that has a nice kind of sort of disease.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I thought I'd follow that sort of narrative.
Yeah, that's a great name. I like it.
It's going good, man. You know, so yeah. So how are you, man? What's been going on with you?
I'm good, mate. I'm at the end of my little trip over here to Edinburgh, and my 3 weeks. I leave tomorrow morning, so I'm
jacked for it. Yeah.
Yeah. I've had fun. I'm a bit worn out and stuff though. Can't wait to get home to my own bed and stuff like that.
You came over for So You Think You're Funny?
Yeah.
Semi-finals you were in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, and how was it?
It was great. It was a good gig. It was about 100 people, 150, probably 100 people in the Gilded Balloon room there one night. It was good. It was lots of fun. I didn't get through, but it was still, it's good to come over and be a part of it, you know? It's great.
But you've been meeting with, I mean, the thing is, like, you know yourself, we've discussed this before, and you said, like, the people you meet and the promotion you get from doing that semi-final, you're always going to meet other people that are going to open a door for you and go, well, okay, well, you didn't go through that door. There's another door here for you to go through. Like,
100%. Yeah.
So, you know, you were saying you met with Melbourne...
Yeah, one of the new directors in the Melbourne Comedy Festival, so I hung out with her, had a drink and stuff like that. It's just good to meet people like that, because the reason I came over is I won the Australian version of So You Think You're Funny, basically, raw comedy, and the prize for that is to come compete over here. So just that in itself is a huge boost, you know. That actually went on television in Australia last week, so...
Nice.
Yeah, I've had a bit of a push from that. I haven't seen it yet, because I haven't been able to watch it, because it's not available outside of Australia, but... Yeah, that's great. I can't wait to get the footage and have a look. And
great for a show reel as well, you know. That's
bloody oath.
Come off. Was it bloody oath? What'd you say? What's your saying there? You're saying a bloody what?
Fucking oath.
Bloody oath. Bloody fucking oath. I've never heard that saying.
Actually, Gary was saying that. He's met some Australians and like they're all saying your catchphrase, mate. Fucking oath. I was
bloody
like, never.
Fucking oath. Nice. Okay, cool. It's a mantra. It's like bloody fucking oath.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so you're that'd be good. I say great for sure. When you come off the plane, you'll be like kind of been on TV, guys.
Yeah.
Take your credit up.
Yeah.
Where's my
car?
Exactly. That's it, man.
Yeah.
And so you're from what part of Australia?
I'm from North Queensland originally.
Right.
I'm living in Melbourne at the moment, but I'm from up in the deep north,
as
it's known.
What's that like up there?
It's kind of known as like the hillbilly state a little bit, like because it's just like less populated. Well, it's the third most populated state in Australia, but the second biggest, and the majority of the population's in the southeast of that. But I was up north, grew up in a town, not a tiny town, like 300,000 people, like a small city, you know, coastal city. Lots of people who move away from there like to, I think it's like anywhere, you move away from your hometown, people like to talk shit. They don't like where they came from or whatever, because obviously they left for a reason, but I'm not one of those people. I've got a lot of love for my hometown. Still like to get up there. It's too fucking hot to live there though.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I got overdoing the summers. Just hot, humid.
Oh, man.
But winter,
yeah.
Not you.
Yeah.
The season winter is like, it's the most perfect weather in the world. It's, you know, it'll rarely get above 25 degrees, sunny every day, no rain, like just perfect.
Just like our fucking summer here.
Yeah,
really, you know,
pretty much.
Great. That's the topping out with like 25 to maybe 29 degrees. So
Yeah.
What did you do over there? What did you do before you started comedy?
I had a bunch of jobs, just a bunch of shit-kicking jobs basically. I worked in sewers when I left school for 2 years, doing epoxy in the sewers. After that, I spent a little bit of time unemployed, and then I got into tree cutting. Travel around trimming trees, cutting trees down, stuff like that. I did that for about 5 years, with a little bit of a break in between. I moved down to Brisbane for maybe 6 months, and that's where I started doing comedy. That's where I got the taste for it, you know. And then I ended up moving back to Townsville, kept cutting trees, but I was still doing a little bit of comedy here and there, but obviously not much, because there wasn't too much to do. Maybe one or two gigs a month.
It's hard to get better at that rate, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. You do one gig and it'll go well, and then it's a month later, so it's like you haven't gigged ever, because you've still got the same nerves and you can't work anything, you know what I mean? So spent total of 5 years doing the tree work and stuff like that, and you know, you meet a lot of characters doing that. Like there's a lot of especially up there's a lot of cowboys, just wild people. The plan was, once I moved back from Brisbane, I was either going to move back to Brisbane or to Melbourne to really have a go at comedy, you know. So it took me a little bit longer than I expected, but I ended up moving to Melbourne and just getting stuck in, doing as many gigs as I can.
That's it. So, but like you worked in a sewerage
basically
plant.
not a plant, just the manholes,
right?
Because whatever's in the sewage, shit and piss and all the rest of it, mainly water, it builds up a gas called hydrogen sulfide, which rises in the manholes, and because of all the moisture in the concrete and stuff like that, it makes sulfuric acid, and it chews away the concrete of the walls, so they start to just break down.
Okay.
So our job it was a terrible job. We'd go in, we'd have to water blast, like have high pressure water blast the walls. Sometimes it would just be like sand flying off at you. Like you're in like maybe a metre and a half cylinder, you got full wet weather gear on, you've got a 5,000 psi water blaster, so you're like you can't see me on the podcast, but you're huddled up, you got this fucking powerful hose right in front of your face. You're all kitted up though, and you just got to blast all the walls, and if they're too rough, you have to grind them. Oh no! So you're in there for a day grinding with a pneumatic grinder, concrete grinder, to smooth the walls off. Then you patch them up with a special epoxy sort of render, and then we would coat them with epoxy paint.
Man, I guess that, when you're spraying that stuff, even the diluted sulfuric acid that builds up is gonna if it gets on your skin, it's gonna take.
Oh no, it's not that bad. No, okay. It's very diluted. Yeah, it's a slow process that it breaks down. Right. But it's just the sheer force of it coming off that can be, and the cockroaches and just all the rest of it.
Man, I bet that was one of those jobs you can go, oh god, man, I've got to find a way out of
this. Yeah, fucking oath. Yeah. That's that probably wasn't even the worst. The worst part about that job, I was actually writing about it the other day. I was mainly not in Townsville doing it. We're doing it in another city, which is about 4 hours away. Cairns, similar sort of size city. But I was living with my boss and the two other workers, which were his two twin sons. And the boss was just a nightmare, and his sons weren't much better, and he went through workers like nothing else, because he was just an asshole, and the only people he could get to hang around were his flesh and blood.
Oh, that's it.
But it teaches you what you don't want to do.
That's it.
And there's definitely better options out there.
Yeah.
It's good learning, coming straight out of school and just diving straight into that, doing long days, living in with these people. It was terrible at the time. It just, like I said, it just teaches you.
It grinds you down a bit. And
100%.
This is where I am now. I know I don't want to be. You're literally wading through the shit, aren't you?
100%.
Mate, that's it. It's, you gotta, do you ever? I had this once, right? I was in a job which I hate for a bit as well. You have a few, but I was building up stonemason, building stone walls and stuff. Mate, repetitive as shit. You're out in all weather sometimes, fucking doing it.
Yeah.
Man, and I don't know if you ever had this, but you just get into that sort of meditative state of just like one thing off the other thing, and then you just kind of zone out. And then you kind of like, I had an out-of-body experience one day, and I saw myself loading a barrel of stones, and I was like, oh my god, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
And that was fucking me. You start to lose your...
It's a surreal experience.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
That's me loading that... Oh, fuck, where am I? Like, it's fucking weird shit. But that kind of shit happened to you as well, were you there?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. You're just like, what? Yeah. What am I doing this for,
Yeah. Did you do, like, performance in school as well, or...
Never ever.
Just was like, oh man, I fucking... They can't hurt me more than this fucking job's hurting me. I'm going to go up there and just tell them about my life.
Yeah, pretty much. I always liked comedy. I always liked watching stand-ups and stuff. I used to listen to a lot of stand-ups. I never had the inclination that I thought I could do it or anything like that. For the whole time I was a teenager, my dad's a big fan of comedy and stuff like that. And then I started listening to podcasts, Joe Rogan's podcast in particular, like back in 2011. So when he just first started doing it, and then like he'd sort of just explain the process of how you start, and he talked about the lifestyle of it and stuff like that. I was like, fuck, that sounds like fun, and it's just like, all you got to do is go to an open mic and do it. There's no prerequisite more than that. You just got to start doing it. I was like, well, fuck, that sounds pretty cool. I had that idea, and then I had a girlfriend that was living in Brisbane at the time. She'd just moved down, so I went down to visit her, and we went and watched some stand-up. We actually watched a Raw Comedy Heat that year. It was like amateurs, but they were quite good, and I saw it, and I was like, yeah, I can definitely do this. I would like to do that. And then I ended up moving down there maybe, I don't know, 6-8 months later, and just slowly built up the courage and did it. I'd never done any public speaking or anything like that. I went to a school that was like a public school, but they had a really good arts, so lots of music and drama and performance and stuff like that, but I didn't do any of it. I wasn't involved. I was just like a delinquent student, like I'd just go to school 3 days a week and just to fuck off. Like I did fuck all in school. Yeah, so I just signed up for an open mic and did it. Wrote some fucking shitty material, got up, and I did well my first time as well. I did quite well. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, that's it.
Where was that? Where was your first time then?
Brisbane, Newmarket Hotel.
Newmarket Hotel, right?
Yeah.
It's a hotel, eh? It's not usually the nicest crowds, are they? They're a little bit kind of like, they're a bit kind of stuck up. Are they okay?
No, they were all right there because that's a well-established open mic. In Brisbane, there's one comedy club, and there's other open mic rooms, but they run a few open mic rooms. You know what I mean? So you call up the comedy club and book your spot in, and the Newmarket's their oldest one, and they've sort of got it set. But Brisbane and Queensland generally in Australia is known to have some of the hardest gigs because they're all in pubs, and Queensland people don't give a fuck. They're like, it's hot. They're just there to drink, so just like, a lot of strong comics come out of Brisbane because if you can get up and make people that they'd rather put money on the greyhounds than watch you do comedy. But if you can get up and get their attention, make them laugh, then you're doing pretty well.
Get to the punchline quick. None of this baggy shit in the middle. Like
No
whimsy. Not going to work here.
No. So especially being in Melbourne, a lot of us Queensland comics have a reputation of being quite strong coming from that environment.
Nice. So with that, Mrs. or did she just like get you towards the comedy and then you just went?
That's why I ended up moving back to Townsville after I started. That kind of fell apart. Plus I was working a shitty job there, and it just wasn't working, So I was like, fuck, I'll just go touch base at home. I only plan on going for like a year or something, but shit happens. I ended up back in Townsville for 3 years, back cutting trees and just doing a little bit of comedy here and there. I really like tree lopping as a job because it's way better than the sewer work, actually, because it's exciting. Like, it's hard, it's very hard work, but it's exciting, You're cutting down massive trees, so there's shit going on, you're active, your mind's active, you can't zone out and stuff like that because there's shit going on, and you meet cool people. And
I mean, like you say, maybe you would go to school 3 days a week. You were like, you were getting some stories together for your gigs. Like, this happened to me, and then I did that, and like you're building up a life in it, really.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, just experience.
And then start comedy. That's it. You don't want that kind of thing. You're drawing from all the hedonistic days. Like,
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time as a teenager just fucking off. I stayed in school until I graduated year 12 and passed and everything, but I was only there because I didn't have a driver's license and I didn't want to get a job yet. And there was girls at school, so it's like I'm just going to stay here until I can.
Just enjoy yourself in it.
Yeah.
Gigged in Brisbane and Melbourne.
Yeah.
And then have you been in any other festivals around the country? Or
no, I did a split show with two other guys from Melbourne during the last Melbourne festival, which was a good experience. We just did a half run, had a little room. Yeah, we lost a little bit of money, but it was just good to have that experience, see what goes into putting a show together and all the rest of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was really good for the Raw Comedy competition as well, because the night I had the grand final, which is in Melbourne Town Hall, 1,500 people, massive gig. I've been on stage 20 minutes every single night for a week beforehand doing my own show, so I was just like tight as.
Great.
Yeah, worked out really good.
That's cool, man. And 1,500 people, that's great. So do you slow it down for those people, or just like...
Yeah, for sure. You got to slow down a little bit because the laughs take so much longer to roll over and stuff. I can't wait to see it, to be honest, because it's all professionally shot on telly.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So you've come to Edinburgh now, and you did the So You Think You're Funny. Who's your influence in when you first started comedy? Like you went, okay, I want to be like that comic, or I mean, I really like that comic.
Rogan, kind of, but not his style. Just he was the main inspiration that it can be done. Like, he laid out the path. Like, he showed me what the path is, you know what I mean? And his comedy's very funny, but, like, when it comes to, like, straight, like, people that make me, like, their stand-up is brilliant. Like, Bill Burr, obviously, like, Chris D'Elia, he's just silly. Lots of local people, since moving to Melbourne, you see, like, people that are there, and you're like, holy fuck, if I've got to be on the same gigs as these guys, I need to be funny. Just a realization once I got to the main comedy city in Australia,
That's it.
There's like really high level people. That's inspiring in itself, I think.
Absolutely. You're like, we'll really grind it out with this. This is it. This isn't just coasting, man. You got to put the work in. And
100%. Yeah, because you could be on a lineup where they're in front of you, so you've got to keep at least that same standard.
Totally. You've got to
try and do better.
Represent yourself, man. It's every day's an interview, isn't it? That's Your mum and dad still around?
They split up when I was 11.
Right.
So I lived with my dad, and my mum ended up moving to Brisbane. She lived in the capital city of Queensland, but I stayed up in Townsville with my dad.
Right.
and my sister for a little bit, but then she fucked off. And I've got an older brother as well, but he went with mum, and he's a bit older, so he was off on his own. In my formative years, it was just me and my dad.
Right. Did I come see in the Raw competition?
Nah, because he's up in Townsville, which is fucking like...
miles away.
Yeah, 2,000 kilometres away or something like
that's
that.
a long
but
way.
he used to come along to a few of the gigs in Townsville and stuff like that. Yeah, he's very proud of me.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
And a bit of support, man, from the homestead, you know?
Yeah.
What about the brother and sister? Are they into any dramatic kind of stuff or anything like that?
Not really. They're funny people.
Yeah.
They are very funny people, but they're not really performers or anything like that. My sister lives in an even more remote place. She lives in Western Queensland.
Right.
She's got 3 kids, beautiful kids. And she's just raising a little family there. And my brother lives in Sydney, and he's been there for maybe 10 years.
What's he do?
It's like a salesman. He's got a real gift to the gab, my brother.
Right.
Yeah. I think he's had a major influence on the person that I am, even though I didn't really grow up with him like in the house as a teenager and stuff like that. But he's a very funny, very unique person, and I think just trying to keep up and maybe impress him a little bit is what's made me a little bit like the sarcastic sort of person I am. Like I think he's had more of an influence than maybe I even realise.
It gives you the banter with the brothers is great, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And he's sadistic.
Yeah.
In a way, he's something else, man. He tortured us growing up. Absolutely tortured us. Yeah. But he's a good person, but I can't even explain that, man.
Yeah.
He's
sadistic.
Yeah.
It's nothing like pain to make you into a creative person, isn't it?
Yeah.
From that pain, you made me this.
Yeah. Just constant tormenting.
Could draw from that. It's a never-ending well of material.
Yeah.
And you talk about them in your act.
Not really.
All right.
No, I don't think so. I don't tell too many personal stories. I don't think. I just like have a look at a subject and be absurd.
Gags then.
Just gags, just like little bits, a few set-up punchlines and try and bring them home.
I think this might be similar to Ireland as well. Like, in the schooling system, because you're in like you say it's a small city, but of 300,000 people, right? That's a fucking massive, compared to where I'm from. Yeah. That's huge. There's a tiny population, right? And in school as well, the same thing. It was like, okay, what do you want to do? Okay, if you want to do anything in arts or anything like that, they were like, you don't want to do anything in arts, man. That's not for you. That's the arts is put in the sort of area with like the knitting and the home economics kind of like umbrella. Isn't it? Oh no, that's not. You're gonna get a real job.
That's right.
That's it. And so, like as I say, Joe Rogan helped you kind of like, I guess, well, this is the route, because there's no route, is there? Really don't know when there's no. This podcast has made things so accessible now, haven't it? With information, you're just hitting the wall, going, well, I think I'm funny in life. Yeah. Where's the job? Okay, we're in school. Were you like messing about with in school, like just being a dick?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
that's all I do. Yeah, I was always. It's a classic thing. Like you read any of my report cards, it would always say Zack is an intelligent student. He just doesn't apply himself, and that was like the story growing up. Just like he's not an idiot, but he just doesn't do the work. He'd rather just fuck off and have a laugh.
And do you see your mum as well?
From time to time. If I'm I drove from Townsville to Melbourne twice in the past year. Once when we first moved down. Again when I went up for my birthday and I got a car, so I just would stop in and see her. Other than that, we speak on the phone every now and then.
And she come see you the gigs yet?
She saw one of my very first ones when I was living in Brisbane when I started. And other than that, I just haven't gigged in the same places, she would have watched the thing on telly the other day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But other than that, that's it.
Mate, I remember I made a massive mistake once. This is probably years ago now. For the comedy sort of gong show. Yeah. Invited in my dad, my brother, his his girlfriend. Yeah. And it was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And I died so hard.
It was brutal.
It was like, talk about like, bring him to a gig, we 10 minutes. Yeah. Not like a gong show. I think I lasted, I lasted 17 seconds. Oh, man, it was tough though. It was tough going, but I mean, I wasn't great, like, or anything. I'm not saying I was great, they just didn't know who it was. Yeah. But there was this guy who went on, who walked on with a swagger, dude, like, with his like big shoulders and like, walked on, and he was an Italian looking dude, walked up to the microphone, and before he picked it up, they gonged him, like, and then the MC came on. We didn't give this guy a fair crack of the whip, like, let's get him back on again. But before the guy left the first time, he said, "You don't understand. It's because I'm good looking." They said this, and I was like, "Dude, what are you doing?" Like, just get off gracefully,
Yeah.
Like, I did 17 seconds. You didn't get to the mic. Whatever. Move on. And then so they got him back up to go. And he walked towards the microphone. As soon as he picked the microphone up, they gonged him off again.
How does that gong show work? Who's in control of the gong? The crowd.
The crowd, yeah.
So they put a hand up, or like.
They've got three red cards given out.
Yeah.
And the audience put up one red card, two red card, 3 red cards. That's it. And so it can last anything from you can last anything from, well, hopefully that's the 5 minutes, but there's no grace. So if they don't like your face or your whatever it is, anything about you. Oh, I don't like your shoes. Red card.
Yeah,
and someone else puts a red card and goes, "Oh, this is fun and it's a game," And then
yeah.
But I saw one last Christmas. The crowd, Ian Stone was emceeing, and they kind of turned on him a little bit because, the crowd were being right dicks, to some of these acts, and then they were like, "Change the people who've got the cards." I was like, I have never seen this happen before. This is usually a bloodbath.
Yeah.
And the audience finally turned against the MC, and he were like, "It's like I don't give a shit. I'm famous."
Yeah.
You could see that he was like, "Well, this doesn't happen. This isn't the way this is supposed to go."
Yeah.
It was really interesting to see the dynamic shift.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's a bit of fun.
Yeah, we've got a gong show back home. Obviously, it's not on the same scale. A mate of mine runs it, and it's like a little miniature theatre, really, that they run gigs at on the weekends. But it's a little bit different. There's a 90-second grace period.
Oh, yeah.
So you got 90 seconds, and there's 3 judges, and they've got the cards, and whatever the crowd, I've been one of the judges before. I get a little bit mean. I don't give people a chance. But if you're one of the judges, you sort of just see how the crowd's reacting, and if there's a dead spot, or they say something crook or whatever, that's when we put the thing up and can gong them. And then before they take off, there's a little bit of back and forth between the host, who's one of the judges, the 2 other judges, and even the person on the gong. So it's you have your set. You've got 90 seconds. After that, you can be gonged.
Yeah.
If you get through your set, then all power to you. That bodes well. If you might win, there's $50 at the end. But after you get gonged, you have a little bit of a chat, and that's where the comedy is usually.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun going back and forth.
Cool. I think that sounds a bit more friendly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. That one sounds fucking brutal.
It is brutal, man. It's they're such fuckers, man. But it's what it is. It's fine.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But you just got to take it on the chin and just, all right, fuck it, not tonight. I remember this one night I followed a rapper, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then he was like, take out something out of your pocket, everyone. And I was like, oh god, great. So how am I going to follow that? I'm just saying words. That's it. I mean, but it was just and so the 3 people after him just got gonged off because it was the energy wasn't set again.
Yeah.
Okay, and because the guy had a fucking backing track and the whole lot,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Musical comedy on steroids,
Yeah.
So then I was like, all right. So anyway, that was it. I accepted my licks. I was like, all right, well, fuck, I've done it 3 times, so I'm not terrified of it anymore, which is fine. Those guys, you have do you have a minute to kind of do after they've got through, or they just go do 5 minutes and they give a clap off at the end?
Yeah. Basically, you've got about 5 minutes.
Because of the gong show in the comedy store, you have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And you get through, and then at the end, you've got another minute to do. Right? But you don't get gonged there, but you just got to do your best minute.
Yeah, right.
So if you've done your best 5 minutes, you've got fuck all left for the minute.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's okay. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. But it's just...
and is there a prize at the end?
You get a crown.
Yeah, right.
You get a crown, you get a picture with a crown, you might get a video or whatever.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, it's still a bit of fun, man. So you gigging a lot and you're just putting the work in, you've done the festivals. So what are you going to do next? What's the next move?
Just keep gigging as much as I can in Melbourne, and then try and do little week stints up in Brisbane, in Sydney and stuff like that, and just keep gigging and writing and trying to put something together.
In Melbourne, is there a load of rooms you can just loads of rooms you can play?
Yeah,
there's loads of not houses 50 rooms, something like that. Is it?
I don't know a number, but there's several at night.
Right, and
there's a lot of open. So if you're not booked at a lot of the places, there's a lot of sign up in the night open mics.
Nice.
Most nights of the week. It's only getting more and more. It's great. It's growing. Great. You can pretty much get on stage every day, especially if you're quite good and you can get booked a lot. You can do 2 days, 3 days.
Nice.
I think my mate got the record that I know of at the moment. He did 7 in one night, just around Melbourne.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, you just got to get better quicker, and that's it, man.
Yeah.
How long have you been going now? How many years?
When I first moved to Brisbane was in 2012.
Right.
So 5 years this month. It was August.
Oh, great.
Like I said, I spent 3 years in Townsville doing fuck all, 2 or 3 gigs a month max. Mm-hmm. So, like, the development-wise, that was a very slow period. Mm. So I've probably developed more in the past year and a half living in Melbourne than I have any time before that. So 5 years, but, like, a year and a half full on at that Melbourne pace, you know.
Did you start off in stories and then move to more gaggy-based stuff?
I'm not sure. I don't even know how to describe it, hey. Right. It's just, like, just little bits that I think are funny, like... I always like to just open up with a just easy one-liner just so you get them, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, just something about the way I look or whatever. That way they're paying attention, they've laughed, they trust you, then you can go into other things. Yeah, I don't know. I just everything's just gotten tighter and funnier, you know? You can just get, you know, where to put the punchlines to get the laughs and try and make it lead into something else.
I think one of the hooks for a guy to be funny... Like, you know, to get sex. Right?
Yeah.
The way a guy who's funny so he can get sex, whatever it is, male...
Yeah, whatever you do, basically.
You got to make people laugh and enjoy it, right? So,
especially if you're not really good looking, you need your wit.
You need an edge,
don't you? Yeah,
100%. A bit of a hook, you know, that's it. So that's the thing. So I think that's where, like, some guys go, oh, fuck, I need to get good at this. If I get good at this, that will help me out in whatever it is I want. What is the best story that you tell people? To, like, say if there's a bit in a lull in, like, say if you're in at a party or something like this, right?
Yeah.
And you can go, right, fuck, okay, this party is fucking not going very well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this one always gets them. This one, I've got, you know, or two. If you got two stories, what is that story or whatever it is what is that story that you go, right? We're breaking this fucker out, break glass. That's it. We're going for it. What's that story? So you take your time. There's no rush for this.
I don't know. There's one I've been telling recently, which is like. It's more shocking than anything because it's like, and it's not a happy story.
Okay.
It's something that happened to a friend of mine, a guy that I sort of grew up with, met him through friends in high school, and we were always like, we liked to party, you know. Yeah. We'd take a lot of ecstasy, you know, party, like drink a lot and whatever. He always smoked a bit of meth. Right? He's one of those guys, and that was a big thing. Me and my mates dabbled every now and then, but we were always very aware that. There was those guys that did that, and we didn't want to be like those guys, you know? Mm-hmm. He sort of had his feet in both worlds, you know? He was mates with us, but he had this other thing, and they were like, he was a bit wilder.
Yeah. They were the messy group. You were like this, okay, like, we get it, but we're
Yeah, they're just a bit more scummy, you know?
Yeah, right.
That's probably a good word for it.
Right.
We always were like, you know, we know he does that, but whatever. And then we kind of, as you get older, you know, you start hanging around more people more often than not, blah, blah, blah. And he just kept going down that path. And it's like, fuck, you know, what can you do? You can't. And he's a very headstrong person. It's like, you can't, they've got to want to stop, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Addiction, man. It's their addiction.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And, you know, you could see it coming, but there's fuck all.
Yeah.
You know.
Can't get in the way.
Yeah.
That's it.
Eventually, he's gone wild, you know. He's just on it all the time. We'd go see him every now and then, went around to his place for his birthday. They're on it. We just hung around for a little bit, and then we left. I was there with a couple of mates, and then I was living in Melbourne last year, and I heard on the news that someone had been shot by the police in Townsville, which is like insane.
Yeah,
like it's not the US, like you know. And it wasn't a huge news story. So it was just like speaking to my mate the next day. It's like that was our mate, Kitty. It turns out. He had been in trouble with the police like 2 weeks earlier, and they'd given him a good beating, you know. Right. And then he was out in the middle of nowhere, basically. Like it wasn't in town or anything. It was like at a service station, petrol station, and something had happened. These police rocked up. They knew who he was. His story was, because my mate went and saw him in the hospital, that he had been beaten up by him 2 weeks before, so he was running towards the cameras or the servo. I don't know what he was doing at this fucking servo. Right. Apparently he had a baseball bat on him. And his story was he was running towards the cameras because he didn't want, if he was to get beat up again, he wanted evidence to hold against him, you know. Right. He was doing that. They shot the tasers at him twice. Didn't stick. Didn't work. And yeah, they shot him 3 or 4 times or something.
Whoa.
In the stomach. One went up and came out there. One went down his leg, and he ended up having to get his leg amputated at the knee.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I don't know exactly what's happened since. When he was in the hospital and my mates went to see him, he hadn't heard a peep from the police. Nothing would come of it.
Wow.
So I don't know if they knew they were in the wrong or like they're just trying to brush it.
That's serious, huh?
That's insane.
Like he's got his leg amputated and they're just like, oh, okay, sorry about that.
Yeah.
What? But does that happen a lot? Like in
No.
I mean, like as in the police. Like, so if you do something wrong in the that's where you're from.
Yeah.
In what's it called
Townsville.
Townsville, right? If you do something wrong in Townsville, the police won't necessarily take you in. They'll beat the fuck out of you and let you off you go.
Well, I don't think that's standard operation, and I don't even know how true that is. He could just be like, because he didn't like the police. He could, who knows? They might have just arrested him and roughed him up a little bit. And then he's,
gone AWOL on it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Like, it's just...
Wow.
It just blew my fucking mind, because that's like... You never hear about people being shot in Australia full stop.
Yeah.
Let alone by the police. And let alone outside of a major city in Townsville, like way up in fucking North Queensland. And then not have it be, like, major news. It's just like... There's an article about it in like the paper and maybe on like a few websites or whatever, but it didn't blow up. It was like nothing. And then he got taken to the hospital, and then he was waiting there for the police to rock up for something to happen, and nothing became of it.
But it's like, I guess that these people are quite vulnerable people, aren't they, as well?
Yeah.
So like he's got no one who's got his back, so they're like, well, it's just this guy, he's a junkie.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's what I'm
like,
thinking. It's like
he got his leg cut off. Who's going to take this junkie's word over ours?
Yeah.
In a court. Oh, well, they can barely string a sentence together at this stage, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
So they're pretty safe with the
yeah, they think that's right. If they don't bring anything of it, then they can't be.
Yeah. It's like, when you see the junkies getting carried off into vans, it's like, I'm going to take you to court. And the police are like, yeah, okay, right, yeah, who's your lawyer? What money have you got?
Yeah.
The money goes into your arms. That's it. And it's wow.
But yeah, that's the most fucking crazy story of.
That's it. So, like, it's a big problem then, meth and stuff and that.
Yeah. It's like anywhere. Like, it's pretty major all over Australia, but like when you get out to the rural areas, it's bad, because there's like Townsville's obviously it's not a tiny place, but like you go out into like rural New South Wales, rural Victoria is really bad, where there's like 10,000 people in a town and there's nothing to do.
Yeah,
there's nothing to do, and it's cheap.
Yeah,
it just gets brought in by the ton, and into the country by the ton. It's cheap. These fellas start smoking it because there's nothing else to do, and then it just like once you're on it. And there's nothing else that you just keep smoking, and then it just gets worse and worse. Yeah,
that's it. It's like it's like that in Ireland as well. There's like there's not really much to do in the towns. There's very limited kind of things you can do. So I think there's quite a big drug problem in rural areas.
Yeah,
people just go bored out of their brains.
Yeah,
they need to do something. Isn't
it?
Yeah. It's just there's no. Not that we want to go ice skating, but like nothing like this kind of,
Yeah.
That's not why ice skating came from. There's no ice skating. Might as well do ice.
Yeah. So, it's insane. Like, but there's nothing really to stimulate you activity-wise, and then you smoke meth, and it's like fucking one of the best feelings. Yeah. So like you go from nothing to like just this massive rush of euphoria and like having a great time with your mates. Like fuck, let's do that all the time, and then it just snowballs from there.
That's it. Wow, that's it. It's a gateway, isn't it? A gateway to whatever other things as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm up all night, need to sleep now. Where does it go from there? Isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. You start going uppers and downers, and that's when you fucking keel over.
Seesaw of death.
100%. Yeah.
So yeah, man. So what's your dad do? What's he into? Not meth. I'm not saying it. What's your dad do?
Oh, he works in the concrete industry.
Oh right.
So he's done that for as long as I can remember.
Is he like a lorry driver sort of thing?
Basically, yeah. His name's Laurie too. It's pretty
funny. Great for I'm seeing. What's your name, Laurie? What do you do? I drive a lorry.
Yeah.
Oh, classic.
Yeah. No, we don't call him lorries over there. That's the only other thing. Yeah, he started off driving trucks and stuff. I think he works more in the batching hut now.
Okay.
So just like filling the trucks up and.
It's alright, pays the bills, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It's early starts. He's just a fucking workhorse, man.
Yeah.
Like all he knows to do is just work. Right. Like he's always gotten up fucking crack of dawn goes to work, and that's just what he does, you know, because he's got a nice big house and it's just about paid off. But like that's just, I'm being onto him because he's almost paid off the mortgage for the house. And like he's like, you know, I can do anything now. I'm like, well, then fucking do it, Dad. Like he's never been on an overseas holiday or anything like that. I'm just like, well, you've got the freedom, you can do it. Then he's like, you know, who would I go? It's like, fucking take me, or just don't. Just go by yourself, mate. Like, just fucking... So I've just been... That's what I've been trying to get onto him. Yeah. I probably won't get him to go overseas, but I'll try and get him to just holiday around Australia a bit more and enjoy himself a bit more, you know. Because all he's done since I can remember is just fucking... Just work, you know, and work to provide for me and my family and whatever, like... and this house that he's built and stuff like that. Like, he's been a slave to that, and that's what he says, I'm a slave to this place. I'm like, well, Dad, you've almost gotten to the point where you wanted to be when you first started this, you know, 20 years ago. Yeah. So why not enjoy yourself now, you know? So that's what I've been trying to get him to do.
To live a little, man, that's it. You know, I mean, guess as well, he sees you doing the things you want to do, and, you know, it inspires everyone, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
That's it. It's like, you know, this is such a hard industry to kind of try and chip away at.
Yeah.
And then when you do it, you're going to go, doesn't matter, man, whatever it is, I'm getting better at this.
Yeah.
Any sort of success in this is minute.
Yeah, that's right.
Step up and then...
And it's fleeting as well.
Like, plateau and then step up and then like, what, am I, you know, I know I'm getting better at this, but where's the... is there a reward? Where's the...
And you see so many people that have become disillusioned with it all.
And, exactly. And like, you know, but if you keep doing it, you know, yourself, you kind of go... you know, people kind of... I love seeing people who just started, and then you say, like, you know, people who were nice to me on the circuit before, they pass on this, like, just nice words to you.
Yeah, 100%. It means the world as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then you go, and I like passing that, like, nugget of gold onto them, and like, you know, of joy. Go, man, keep fucking at it, man. You're doing great. You know, that's it. It's just because it's so difficult. Yeah. And that, I mean, trying to get your dad to enjoy himself is hard because everyone else gets locked into that hamster wheel. I mean, we're on the hamster wheel of the circuit. That can grind you down too. Yeah, 100%. But you've got to be aware of it. Go, no, I'm all right. I know we're at what ones I want to do. And those ones, they're just like, they're just going to kill me. Like those gigs will kill me. These gigs will be. They're a place to. There's not really a hamster. There's an actual road. Down. So you inspire the people by just doing this as well. Like keeping at something that's the hardest thing. But well, that's cool, man. It's just kind of try and get out of that kind of mentality of I can't work because people feel ashamed for not pursuing people feel ashamed for not doing the things that sometimes they don't like. You know, they go stuck into that work ethic, but that's not. I've got to change. Change shit, man. That's it. It's change is the hardest thing, man. It's you gotta.
100%. Especially when you're locked into doing something.
It's like and like you know, I'd tell you, I had a bit in my show as well. I said I stayed in my job out of spite. Because I was like, they're not going to break me.
100%. Yeah.
You know, I'm hanging on, man. I'm hanging on.
Yeah.
It's good because when you can see it in someone else, but it's just trying to help them through that kind of situation is difficult. This is the first time you've been out of Australia.
Yeah. First trip overseas.
And so how did you feel when it's not your first plane journey though, right?
No.
But I mean,
definitely my longest one.
Right.
Yeah.
But how are you finding how you find the audiences here? Rather than in Melbourne?
I've found I can't do a lot of my bits. I've realised a lot of my bits are very Australian-centric, you know, like just references that people won't understand. Like
what?
I've got a lot of jokes about being from North Queensland, you know, so you come to a place where just like Australia's one place. I don't know the differences between I can't do those jokes. I've got jokes about like a Kmart, and there's no Kmarts here.
Right.
So it's like, they're not going to get that.
Just these like things that you can't translate.
Just little things that just won't translate, you know. And then if you tried to explain it, then the joke's gone. You know, like it can't.
It's true. You're trying to explain it because it makes it funnier. You know, and like I say, it's fun when you kind of have those little moments. Right? But sometimes explaining it and continue to explain it, even though they've got it. You keep going. Keep going, and that's
you can have fun with it.
Totally. It's like this, and they go, we know. Like I know you know. I'm just fucking being a prick.
But I think every single audience is different, you know. So they're all going to react a little bit different.
Totally.
Yeah, no, they've been good over here. Like you can't. I've learned this in Melbourne festivals though. You can never judge. Like you see them walking in, and you automatically do it. Like I do it not on purpose. You just make little judgments. You'll think, oh fuck, they're not going to like it. Oh no, they're not going to get what I'm saying. But then you get in there and like. you're completely wrong. Like the other day, me and my mate did a pop-up gig, so someone obviously wanted the day off in their room, so George managed to nab it, and he's like, well, come along, you can do 15 open for me, and I'll just do like a slightly different version of my show where I can try some other stuff. So I was like, sick, no worries, and he got a bit of a crowd in, and there was like a few older couples, and the guy that was in the room every other day was an old Jewish comedian.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, fuck, these people are here to see an old...
Ivor Dembina.
Yeah. I'm like, fuck, these people are here to see an old Jewish comedian. He's like, just got sharp as hell jokes. He's a fringe legend, like whatever. And I was picked up like the older guy. I was like, they're here to see him. And I was like, fuck. All right, I was going to do my thing. And I opened up with like, who's here to see Ivor or whatever? And it was none of them. It was two young fellas at the back. And I was like, all right, cool, because that would be a bit weird. You come to see an old Jewish comedian and you get you get a Greek Australian guy and his fucking idiot mulleted mate, and they all cracked up, you know.
Yeah.
They loved it. The older couples absolutely loved it. They had a great time, you know. And I found that during festival as well. A few times in our shows, we had a bunch of older couples come in. I'm like, fuck, because I got lots of jokes about doing drugs and like just silly jokes about social media and stuff. But like, they're some of the best shows we had, because I find the older couples, like the older people that are out seeing shows, they don't give a fuck. Yeah. They want to laugh. They've come out to enjoy themselves, and they're not reserved. They're not worried about what anyone else is thinking, like as much as a younger person would be, you know. So if they're having a good time, they will fucking let loose and laugh. And so they're some of the best audiences, I think. I love seeing it. Like I love getting an old bloke laughing. Like that's probably one of my favourite things ever. Yeah.
Because they're not threatened by you, are they? Like,
that's exactly right. Yeah.
That's it. They're like, just I'm my life. I got my perfect life. I'm just coming to just chill.
Yeah.
And whereas the young people are like, well, I've got here with my missus maybe, and this guy's being funnier than I've been.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it, but I'm fucking not gonna know I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
And then the women then I've seen this quite a lot. You know, you see it in audiences. The women sometimes look at the guy to see if they're enjoying it.
Yeah.
And then they look back at you and they go, okay, he's kind of is he enjoying it?
Yeah.
And then it's this like tennis game they're having between the, you know.
Or even just mates. Like some people don't want to, like they want to be cool, you know, so they don't want to be the one laughing hard if their mate didn't find it as funny, so they don't want to be the guy they don't want to look like a loser, you know.
Totally.
Like, I'm not going to laugh hard at this if he's not.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to be part of the group, man.
Yeah.
I'm not different. I want to be the same. Fuck it, be different. It's much more fun.
Yeah.
Man. Comedy aside, right? What do you do everyone needs a bit of a break away from like the mayhem, which is a constant grind of comedy.
Yeah.
It's always turning in there, but like, what do you do apart from that? What do you do to kind of like just settle? Meth.
Yeah, lots of meth actually. Like you don't get much settling done.
A lot of organising.
Yeah. See my room, it's clean as hell. My book's perfectly straight. There's not a mark on my computer screen.
Colour coordinated, alphabetically organized. It's amazing.
I do a lot of just hanging out. I used to, when I was back up in Townsville, I used to do a lot of slacklining. Okay. Just basically like tightrope walking.
All right.
So that was a good little thing, but since being in Melbourne and being stuck into comedy so much, I've been doing that less and less because I've just got no time. I work full time, so it's like I get home, I eat, and then I just go out and get on the grind. But other than that, like I like to fucking blaze up and just hang out with mates, you know, play a bit of fucking PlayStation. Yeah. Go for walks. Big fan of going for a walk, you know, just not even think sometimes, just walk. And Melbourne's beautiful, you know, I live in a really nice area, so... Well, sometimes I'll walk into the city instead of getting the tram in to a gig. I'll leave, 45 minutes early and just walk.
Nice.
I'm pretty basic like that, mate. I'm either doing comedy or I'm just hanging out somewhere.
That's cool.
I live with some really good people, so we'll just blaze up and play with the PlayStation, talk some shit. Yeah.
Are they comics as well?
One of them is. Another guy used to do stand-up. Now he's more into directing and producing and stuff. He's made a few TV shows, and he writes for a few TV shows and stuff, and doing some sketch. He's a really, really funny guy.
Show me that video.
Oh, yeah.
What's it called?
Hot Dad Productions. It was the Trash and Treasure.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's a great sketch. It's on YouTube, isn't it? Trash and Treasure.
Yeah.
Great.
Hot Dad Productions on Facebook. So, John is the director of that. He's one of the main creators of all that stuff. He's brilliant. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And if you kind of got, hey John, look, I'm here, John, put me in a thing.
Yeah. He's been just a few extra spots now. No, Oh, and I've had a few little lines in some of them. They're doing a lot of work with another good mate, my first ever mate in comedy, Aaron Gox, he's massive. He blew up in Australia. He's a very, very unique dude. He's been doing stand-up a very long time. He saw me do my first few gigs when he lived in Brisbane, and he liked me, and he's like, "Oh, try and get your gigs and stuff like that." He's just like, he's the nicest person in the world. He always made silly videos online, and one that he had, but I got the shirt, it's like, it's just his face.
Yeah.
And it says classic stitch up.
Cool.
Underneath, and so he had a video where it was just him in front of the webcam, just telling this like stupid story. It's a story about he was at work and Marty. I said to Marty, the boss wants to see you, and then when Marty got to the boss, he didn't want to see him. It's a classic stitch up, just super dry Australian humour, and it just fucking blew up, exploded, because he's just got such a funny look about him and stuff like that. He's been doing heaps more stuff. So John and Hot Dad Productions, they've been producing a lot of sketches and stuff with him, because like he's just loved. So just been doing like a little bit of extra work and stuff like that in those things, just because I'm around and it's a bit of fun, It's cool, like getting home from work in the afternoon and the house is just full of like fucking sound guys and cameras, and they've got a green screen set up. It's because I've never been around anything like that, I was saying, like I've never done any performance or whatever, just to see what goes into making those fucking funny videos.
It's exciting, isn't it? Like,
it's great, man. It's so cool. Yeah.
That's great, man. That kind of humour is very... It's working men's humour, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, and like that's just because I my first job I ever had was working on, like, that's stone walls, building stone walls, stonemason, And those guys you work with, man, they're all like, that's the main population of Australia is building and like, farming and whatever it is. Working men, and that same sort of like, the old classic, left-hand screwdriver. That's the same kind of thing. And it just
silly stuff.
And it just hooks into that whole mentality of the country, I guess. That's why it blew up, isn't it? It's like, okay, if you're going to get more of those hooks, that's great. So, you're going to find that thing that everyone likes, or maybe just, for now, and then you can give them the thing that only some people like. I've done this thing that everyone likes, and there's this other thing as well that some people may like.
They've done some funny stuff, man. I'll show you one. They're recreating Australian TV shows from the 90s, like kids shows, but with Goxie as the main character. So it's like a 34-year-old fat dude, hairy as, playing Ocean Girl, which is like a TV show where it was like a young girl who's in the ocean. She used to fight like baddies and stuff like that. So it's like him in like a one-piece bathing suit. It's fucking brilliant, man. So funny. So they've just been doing a lot more of those where they just recreate different kids shows from the 90s.
Cool.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Fun, man.
Yeah.
And what is it again you do full time then?
Now I do like gardening.
Oh, right, cool.
So I work for like a council, just going around. We've got a bunch of little sites in a suburb outside of Melbourne.
Oh, you do a tree searching thing, isn't it?
No, not as full on. So it's like, we don't cut trees so much. We do a lot of hedging and mowing and stuff like that. Just making sure the park stays pretty, If there's any rubbish, pick it up, spray a few weeds.
Any crazy shit you've found in the parks?
Lots of bongs.
Oh yeah.
Lots of just random shit. A big bag of white powder one time. I don't know what the fuck it was. Just weird shit. Like rubbish and fucking vacuum. They've got a real problem with people dumping out there. So it's like real grubby, People just dump their rubbish in a park somewhere. So it's pretty annoying. I got some good bits out of it though.
Yeah, I bet. So. Do you use all those bits still?
Yeah, I think a few of them.
Time to burn them, which is like, that's cool. But because I know another friend of mine. He works in a recycling centre. Yeah, and he's got loads of bits just from that. It's his musical comics different.
Yeah.
But you get some great things. I guess in Australia, people use things until they're fucked, right? They don't throw away something that still got a bit of a use for it, right? And it's like, no,
I think that people do. People are fucking wasteful, hey?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what have you managed to reclaim? Anything?
Have I kept anything? Not really.
Yeah.
I got a porn DVD.
Yeah.
But I snapped it accidentally, but I use it on stage as a bit,
Yeah.
It's, so I got a bit where it's like, I've talked about how much I hate litterers. So I found 2 bags full of the remains of a kid's birthday party. I was like, I fucking hate litterers so much. This job makes me hate litterers so much, because my first thought was, fuck, I hope I find a third bag with the remains of that kid in it.
Yeah.
And then I go, oh, it's not all bad. Like sometimes you find really cool stuff, and then I pull out the porn DVD and just rip on that a little bit.
Nice, yeah. That's cool. Was it? I mean, when I was a kid as well, like, you know, we used to go every Sunday. We used to go down to the dump, and then, like, the people just throw away some mad stuff.
Oh yeah, I used to do that heaps as a kid. Go to the dump with Dad, because like back then the dump was like all spread. Now they've got just big bins, so it's a bit harder.
Yeah. But
that used to have so much fun, man. Just fucking going through everything, and God knows what we could have caught or anything.
All right, health and safety. Well,
yeah.
You're like your parents was like, watch out for the nails.
Yeah, basically. Make sure you had shoes on half the time.
Exactly. Mine was, there's plenty and then I got a nail in my foot, Dad. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Your brother's got one as well. He's got 2 nails in both feet. That's fine. He's under that pile of bikes in the corner.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was like, I mean, we used to go down and like, I think probably the same sort of thing. You know, they just have a landfill. You won't go in, or maybe a concrete bit where they put it all and they sort out or incinerate it or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And like, you know, me and my brother used to go down there and we'd like to collect a lot of wood for the wood burning stove. You know? And then fucking, cause, you know, old man was like fucking saving money, like, you know. And heat all the hot water in the place, you know, and then we'd also while we're down there, you know, collect all the Coke bottles as well for 10p each and stuff, and take them back and that. And we'd like you could take old bikes and shit out of there, and like, you know, you'd be like, oh, you got that? You can have it. Now they're fucking selling it.
Yeah, that's right. They've got shops set up. Yeah.
I'm like, look,
they've figured it out.
You know what I mean? If people are throwing this shit away, you're fucking selling it. You shouldn't be making money off this. You're making money off it anyway.
Yeah.
But like, you know, we're just. We were literally recycling. We were like cutting out the middleman, you know, I guess. But it's like we'd have had about 7 like broken bikes. Really had about 1 bike.
Yeah, that's right. Piece them all together.
Yeah, because like one's got no seat, the other one's got like fucking no brakes, and like the one's one wheel, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, same sort of thing for you, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like a chess set with like fucking only 2 pieces in it. But hey, we're taking it home. This is free.
100%. You can make the rest of the pieces.
Yeah, we'll just draw little things. Man. Yeah, good times, man. They were great days.
Yeah, we robbed one of those shops once, the little dump shops. Yeah. Me and my mate.
Nice.
Went to, not the dump near my house, it was one closer to his house. It was like a bigger dump, and they had the shop. We're like, fuck these cunts. We're going to get in. And we, I don't know, we took a few bike frames or something like that. But I think that was like, he lives in kind of a bad suburb, so we're just like one of many people that would rob that place from time to time.
There's like a queue outside.
Yeah, basically, There's already a big hole cut in the fence and stuff like that, so it's like we just walk in, grab a bit. And
butler opening the fence for you. Welcome. Sorry, you're the 2 a.m.
Yeah, the day trading was all the legit stuff, and then like the black market took over at night. Someone completely different came in and ran the place.
That's it, man. That's cool. Was it so? Your next mission then is to just get better and like do more festivals, is that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'm holding off on doing a solo.
Yeah.
For maybe another year and a half, because during the festival next year, I mean, I'm not a shoe-in, but every Raw Comedy winner's been a part of this one showcase show, part of the Melbourne Festival, so I'm like, you know, I don't want to say I'm assuming I'm doing it, but it's like, you know, I'm going to stay in good with those guys and ask for it, and hopefully it's called Comedy Zone, so that's the plan for next Melbourne Festival. So I'll do that. That's, you know, good exposure. You don't have to worry about it too much. You fly and stuff for them, but they've got the venue set up. It's run by the actual festival, so it's a good showcase of young talent from all around Australia. So that's what I'm aiming to do next Melbourne Festival. And then I spend the next year after that just trying to put together a solo show. And so I think when I want to do my first solo, I want it to be really, really good. So I'm in no rush. There's no pressure on me to get anything out there. So I might as well just take advantage of the opportunities that I've gotten from this raw comedy thing, and then just slowly build a nice solid hour to really make a debut.
Nice.
At the festivals, you know.
And tour it around and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully,
So we could come find you in Melbourne.
Yep.
And you're gigging all around there. And
all around.
And then where else can we find you? Social media?
Instagram @LocalFunnyMan. The same on Twitter @LocalFunnyMan. I think it's the same on Facebook as well, but just look me up on Facebook, Zack Dyer, ZackDyer. And I try and stay active. I ebb and flow when it comes to social media stuff. Like sometimes I'll have a good idea just for a funny video and I'll put it up and maybe like I'll be quite active and then I'll just have nothing for months. It's probably the worst way of doing it because you need to be consistent when it comes to that stuff.
It's annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's great. You've got to be doing it. It's got to do it. It's like, but you know, I know you say.
Yeah, you don't want to put trash out, you know. So they say consistency is a key to build up an audience. But like if I can't be consistently as funny as I'd like to be, I don't want to just put filler out, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you see people just whining in the end, you know.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I don't want to hear your inner sadness.
Yeah.
You know, just give me some jokes.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, Zach, man, thanks for coming on the show, man. It's been great.
No worries, man. Thank you so much for having me.
And that was episode 57 with a very funny Zack Dyer. He got through to the semi-finals of So You Think You're Funny. He won Raw, which is a big comedy competition in Australia. He was broadcast nationally. So that means that he's going to be in Melbourne at the Comedy Zone for probably 2018 or 2019, I'm not sure. But go check his stuff out online. He's a very funny guy. He's done a few sketches as well with Dad Productions. Really lovely fella as well. Go check his stuff out online and go and see him live. He's writing his full hour over the next year or so. Go see where he's performing and tuning that show up. You're not going to be disappointed. You can find him everywhere on Facebook, Twitter and all those places. You can also find this podcast at The Comedy Defect on Twitter. You can follow me at Winter Phonander. You can also follow the jokes that I'm raking out of that Guinness Encyclopedia. The handle for that is at Guinness Jokes. Got to nearly page 100. As I say, guys, I've been busy. I told you before. I hope you enjoyed episode 57. Next month, we have a guy I've been trying to get on the podcast for a while. He's a really lovely fella. I've gigged with him many times before, and you're gonna really like that one. I think it's Ben Clover. It's just we're having a bit of a chat. I'm talking to him for ages, so we go into comedy a little bit, but it's just nice to catch up with Ben. Ben Clover is episode 58. I also have a announcement to make very soon. There's a guy that I've been trying to get on the podcast for ages, and he is a comic that's been doing it for at least 20, 25, 27 years or so, and I gigged with him not too long ago. He's just like, it's great to gig with people who've got such experience and such talent because it just inspires you. Even just talking to him after the gig, I talked to this guy, and it was just like, it was so much knowledge was being imparted in the few hours that we spent together. Oh, it was great. It's such a lovely thing, just passing it down. And anyone you meet on the circuit, it's lovely to just pass on that knowledge that you've been given as well. I love receiving that knowledge and passing it on because we're all here to help each other out. Comedy's great, but it's the people you meet sometimes that really make it even more worthwhile. Well, that's episode 57. As I say, I hope you enjoyed that one. Next month, we've got Ben Clover for episode 58. Until then, I hope you got through January okay and you didn't push yourself too hard with those New Year's resolutions. Because remember, we've got another 11 months of this shit to get through. So yeah, just, pace yourself.